some of the lineup changes today more trying to fix things up or kind of pitching matchup based?
Just trying to win, man. Trying whatever we got to do to win. Yeah, pitching match. I mean, you're gonna get change-ups, so you got to have guys that are willing to make adjustments or guys that can do that. So we figured going into the day, the guy that had their best numbers, we were going to need to do something against him. Then it got kind of quirky. You could argue we did a good job against them, but the score was tied and it was very early in the game. So where do you make changes after that? So again, just trying to win. We got 12, count Stone in there too. He's ended up catching on Tuesdays, but everybody that made an appearance of some sort this weekend is a guy that's an SEC caliber player. A lot of them are young, but SEC caliber player, and trying to mix it up and put the right ones out there.
What would you say to assess right now, but where are you at mentally with your team right now?
Good group of guys, like being around them every day. Obviously, they got a little fight to them. Certainly have capabilities. I think right now where I'm at is I'm responsible for guys playing and feeling confident. And so one of the reasons we either make some changes or stress out a little bit about guys' performances is not necessarily what they're capable of, or they made a huge mistake. I mean, they're going to make mistakes. It's playing with confidence, and that ultimately is a choice. And you got some guys whose wheels have been spinning either on occasion or as we stand here right now, kind of have that going on right now. So whatever we can do to try and help them. Trust me, everybody's trying about everything you can think of.
How would you assess Tegan's outing, and then what prompted the move to Princeton there in the fourth?
He was really good. Same as Auburn, good presence. Would like to go back, have a couple pickoff throws, be a little different. That's usually kind of one of his strengths. How he balances out the run game a little bit is his athleticism. He's definitely good at fielding his position. But he did a nice job. We were ready for the next time somebody got on base to go to Krenzel. He's probably one of our best guys at handling that stuff. Plus, if there's a guy on base, he's a ground ball pitcher, get a double play. So Barzy had hit a home run off Tegan. We don't have a lot of room for air. I told the team out there, if that's a question, what we talked about, part of it is probably me trying to, you don't want your players to try too hard, but when the margin for air is kind of thin and things are frustrating and you want to help these guys because they certainly are, like I said, trying like hell, just trying to make the right moves and be one step ahead of everything. So no one was on base, but we went to Krenzel, and to be honest with you, other than one guy's outing was too short today, we kind of went in the order we thought and kind of got to the spot. One out was big, and we wanted to get to the 8th inning with a chance to win with Nate, and we did that. Just they made more plays than we did.
You guys went 1 for 5 in your last 6 series finale games. Is there a sense of frustration in the clubhouse, or is it just pack it up, get ready for Tuesday?
No, I think they'll be ready for Tuesday. We got one senior, and it's senior day, so that kind of goes without saying. And I think they'll be anxious to get back out on the field. I think you saw that at the end of the game. But yeah, it's quite obvious. I mean, the ideal thing is to have a Sunday starter that can carry you, into the 5th, 6th inning like they've got going on over there. But that didn't happen for their guy today. It was a battle of both bullpens, and again, it was a back and forth battle. But they were better than we were today. The only thing I'd say is, you're dead on with the 1-on-5, but the whole weekend kind of has involvement with the whole weekend. So we need to be better, not just, at the conclusion of the weekend, but things leading up to it too.
Tony, some of those 0-2 and 1-2 pitches that got hit out of the yard late, where's the line between being competitive and maybe not making pitches in that?
Yeah, well, it's execution, Grimmer was phenomenal, so there's no sense in saying really anything negative there, but kind of like the idea of being up 4-3 and having Levi Clark up the bat if we execute a bunt. Just first time the guy's been asked to do it. We've got very little left-on-left information with him. They got a guy that's good at getting lefties out, so just the execution was poor. So I'm just saying that as a parallel to no one is saying throw the ball right down the middle to a guy that's already got a homer on the day. But yeah, there's, in particular that inning. Nate, I'd have to go back and see it. Mancini takes a timeout, resets himself, and to me, he took a pitch and then got a 1-2 pitch that was, you got a better view than me, or I don't know where the hell you sit, but It looked like it was a decent pitch. Guy put a good swing on it.
You mentioned some things might need to be better, leading into the weekend. What are those things?
Not leading into the weekend, but over the course of. Yeah. So we're all friends here. Saturday needs to be better. Day 2 needs to be better. I don't give a shit who's pitching or who's playing. Liam Doyle comes out, and the guy's a freaking warrior. And our guys take on that personality. Unfortunately, it's the SEC, so the other team usually has a warrior like J.D. Thompson or a guy that's going to be in the big leagues, should be in the big leagues right now, down there in Baton Rouge. So it's usually kind of a back and forth. But then the next day isn't what it needs to be. And I could give you a few conspiracy theories. I think you guys brought that up. I was on the scoreboard, but I don't really know. I just know what I'm watching. And that can affect and carry and put a little more pressure into day 3. So ideally, you want to be the same type of team every day, but each day's got a new personality. You see different pitchers and things like that. And I'd be the first guy to either get with a player or our team if guys weren't hooking it up. But if anything, maybe like their coach, some of the players are just trying too hard as opposed to not trying enough, or maybe thinking a little too much as opposed to not thinking at all.
Was that at the end out on the diamond? Was that just typical jaw impact?
Yeah, it's overrated. I mean, their guys are looking into our dugout, as they high five, but it was a feisty day all along. So are you going to blame them? And then that's Hunter Ensley's field out there. So I think he was I don't know who was the first one to say. I don't want to say that, but if you're on their side, you yell "poor loser," and if you're on our side, you yell, "Don't do that on our field," or "You're a poor winner." So it's blown out of proportion. If anything, people that were watching for the first part, and then I don't know if the second part was televised, saw a super regional type game or a playoff type atmosphere on the field, and they made more plays than we did.
Why do you think you guys aren't able to capitalize on your hits more?
Probably the pressing, the trying hard thing. I mean, that's a common theme in baseball in general, but overthinking or overcooking situations and trying a little too hard, because you got guys that are capable, and again, maybe we can do a better job of putting the right guy up there or the right position. But the try and the vibe and the energy is not the issue.
You mentioned that energy that was going on throughout the entire game, especially at the end. What happened there in the first inning after the Fisher bomb, and was anything said to you after?
Well, same thing. I mean, he, just like the end of the game thing, he yelled at the pitcher. I mean, for good reason. What would you do? And the pitcher's allowed to do what he does, so why wouldn't he do that? That's kind of he's pretty good athlete. By the way, any Beakers that are watching or give a damn, that's what that looks like, what you all were talking about. But anywho, that guy is good. He's a good athlete. He's got really good stuff. But part of the deal is off the windup doing what he's doing. I would do it too if I was allowed to do it. But I think it got that far to where both sides were doing all that deal. So I don't fault Fish for doing that. I don't fault them for celebrating a victory.
Talk about the effort being where it needs to be. Does that keep you optimistic that this team is close for clicking for an entire weekend?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't. Once I'm done being optimistic, I'm not coming to work anymore. But yeah, I'd be lying if I didn't say I'm the same as everybody else. And then when the outside noise is loud enough, it starts to creep in, and that can affect you or affect the team as well. But it's kind of up to us. As a wise man told us at the beginning of the weekend, was the best teams or the best things to do in tough times in particular is to get closer together. So yeah, I mean, I don't see why I wouldn't. I'm sure someone will spin it or whatever, but I'm optimistic. And these guys, when they're at their best and when they're confident, are really, really good. Maybe given a little too much credit at times, but still they're really, really good.
What were you?
Last
What were some
one.
of the things you were telling the team during that delay following a big play by Vanderbilt?
During the lightning delay and all
rain
that,
delay.
not much. We tried. I mean, Dylan, gives up a home run, but that guy, who knows how many times that guy's played against us? And I didn't even know Chris Burtek. I didn't even know that guy was back for them as a senior. But he just put a good swing on one of Deloy's pitches. But it kind of makes you feel like you wish Dylan would have. He had to get ready, came in the game, and then he's got to get ready again, and then there was another delay. So it wasn't ideal, but the first fastball he threw was pretty good. So again, their guy made a play, and Dylan was good for us this weekend. So the whole thing was about having Dylan ready and knowing what we're going to do after that, But the rest is, you can't control those guys, a bunch of maniacs, and, you know, Vanderbilt's confined to just kind of their dugout, and our guys roam around back there and relax and, you know, wait their task.
Thanks, everybody.